Hello, everyone. Ron here from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and I am back with another Shakespeare sonnet. This is sonnet number 2. I think it's the seventh one that is going to be up on the channel. I'm going to create a playlist just for the Shakespeare sonnets. Right now, they're in other playlists, including a reading comprehension and discussion, but I think it'll be worthwhile to have a Shakespeare sonnet playlist by itself so you can see all of the sonnets in one place. This sonnet is also talking to a young man, encouraging him to procreate, basically. But you'll see that as we go into it. I'm going to read it through line by line first, then I'm going to go back through and make my comments and maybe highlight a few words just to go along with the comments to help you out. And obviously, you can send me your comments or what you think the sonnet is all about and how you feel about this particular sonnet, of course. Before we move forward, I hope you will hit the subscribe button and maybe the notification bell on the channel. Thank you very, very much to those of you who have. I am always coughing still, so I do have my button here to try to mute myself. I'll try to mute so I don't cough in your ear, but I'll apologize ahead of time for that. Uh, Also in the description, there are other links, and if you're planning, there's links to my books. If you're planning to take one of my Udemy courses, send me an email. Let me know what course you'd like to take, and I can send you a coupon for that, save you quite a lot on the listed price. And also, what was I going to mention? I was going to mention something else, and it slipped my mind. Oh, yes, if you if you want more information about my private tutoring service, if you're local, I do it here at the Big Table. If not, anywhere in the world, if you have a connection, which I'm assuming you do since you're watching this video, we can do it online. Of course, I've taught people from all over the world. All right, I'm going to share my screen and pull up the sonnet. Okay, Sonnet 2 by William Shakespeare. When 40 winters shall besiege thy brow and dig deep trenches in thy beauty's field, thy youth's proud livery, so gazed on now, will be a tattered weed of small worth held. Then being asked where all thy beauty lies, where all the treasure of thy lusty days, to say within thine own deep sunken eyes, were an all-eating shame and thriftless praise. How much more praise deserved thy beauty's use, if thou couldst answer, this fair child of mine shall sum my count and make my old excuse, proving his beauty by succession thine. This were to be new made when thou art old, and see thy blood warm when thou feelst it cold. All right. Yeah, it's a great sonnet, this one. I have a few comments. I jotted them down, so I may be looking down at my sheet so I don't forget anything. When 40 winters shall besiege. So there's some metaphors going on here, and there's a couple of war metaphors. Besiege is one of them. I'm just going to highlight that, and trenches here. So as you get older, uh, and it starts to show on your face. You have deep trenches. In other words, you have wrinkles on your face in thy beauty's field. So your beauty begins to fade sometimes as you get older. Of course, it's all in the eye of the beholder, and in some ways, there's a certain beauty in getting older and getting those natural wrinkles. But in this case, they're just it's a very artistic expression of as you get older and your beauty begins to fade. Thy youth's proud livery, so your clothing or the way that you present yourself, so gazed on now will be a tattered weed. So there's some agriculture or farming as well. Trenches could even be farming as well as military, and weed could also be obviously, and even livery, I suppose. So gazed on now will be a tattered weed of small worth held and field, of course. I forgot to mention that. So some sort of agriculture or farming metaphors here. So again, you're fading, you're, you know, falling apart. Gee, I know the feeling. So and so people will not be looking at you in the same way, and they won't see your value in the same way as when you're young and beautiful and all of that fun thing. Then being asked where all thy beauty lies, where all the treasure of thy lusty days. So what did you do with that? How did you spend it, sort of? We'll see that in a moment. To say within thine own deep sunken eyes. So again, looking at getting older. We're an all-eating shame and thriftless prey. So all-eating shame, I'm wondering if it's kind of referring to disease maybe as you get older and you're starting to uh, crumple up your deep sunken eyes and wrinkles. And it sounds terrible, especially after only 40 winters. Back in the day, people didn't live as long. Some of them did. We're an all-eating shame and thriftless praise. I think, that I think this is the idea of having spent all your youth uh, not in the right manner, that you've wasted it. And you'll see why in a moment. How much more praise deserved thy beauty's use, if thou couldst answer this fair child of mine? So having a child is a better use. So you're still going to get old and wrinkly and deep sunken eyes and all the rest of it. But here you have a child to show for it. You have something of value rather than maybe just your own memories and thoughts, which are going to be gone once you're gone. Shall sum my count and make my old excuse, proving his beauty by succession thine. So a kind of continuity going on here with the succession. And so you can't live forever, but there's a sense of immortality that comes with having a child or having children. So you live on in your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren, and when you're long gone. Um, there's a certain amount of truth to that, but that's arguable as well. um, but I think certainly at the time it would have been thought of as, yes, a very valuable um, spend, if you like, is to have a child or children and continue on that line, that family name and that line. This were to be new made when thou art old. So it's kind of like you continuing on, and see thy blood warm when thou feelst it cold. So as you start to fade, and hopefully before rigor mortis starts setting in, you've created a child or children, and their youth and their we often think of youth as being very energetic and hot-blooded and etc., as opposed to getting older when some very old people, not all of them, but some of them, they really feel the cold, and it can be 90 degrees Fahrenheit, or I don't know, what is it? We use Celsius here, but I'm not used to converting back and forth. 30 degrees Celsius, and they've got shawls on and blankets, and it's like I'm sweating and they're freezing. But it's not for everybody, but that's the impression we get of older people. And of course, when you're dead, you're cold. So, but here you have your child. It's sort of a continuation of you. And according to this sonnet, this narrator speaking to a young man, it's a better use of his youth rather than just wasting it, letting it fade away and eat him up in shame and thriftless praise. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I didn't highlight too many things. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things for the metaphor. Just looking at my notes here, yeah, I said a more solid investment, immortality via progeny, and the livery is like it is clothing, but it's also kind of your outer shell as well. So then war metaphors and farming metaphors in there. There's lots more that you could extract from this. I'll leave that up to you. I'm going to stop share and go back to the big screen. And I managed to get through, I shouldn't say this because now I'm going to start choking. I managed to get through all that without coughing and choking in. So that's good. I hope you enjoy that sonnet. I hope you're enjoying all of the sonnets. Sometimes I find a recording of a much more professional reader. I hope I read this fairly well. I think it came out okay. And it's good just to touch on a few of the points. I don't like to, and I have talked in others about the iambic pentameter a little bit. I don't like to um, get down into too much minutia, because I think we want to enjoy the sonnets, or we want to enjoy the plays or the stories or whatever we're reading for the various playlists that we have here. And you can suck the enjoyment out of poetry and out of sonnets and out of songs and out of books by analyzing them too much. So it's fun to analyze, and I can get really deeply into analyzing things. I do enjoy that, but not everyone does. And there are lots of days when I don't really want to do that. It's like, no, I just want to enjoy, I just want to read and have fun. And and get the flavor of what's happening here. And I look for similes, metaphors, personification, other figurative devices. We talked about a couple there, and I have in other sonnets as well. But you don't have to get down into the trenches. I'll use one of his words here, uh, all the time, and you don't have to stay there. You can back up and listen to the poem or the sonnet and enjoy it as well. Anyway, enough rambling from me. If you like the video, hit that like button, the thumbs up. Also, you can let me know in the comments, what do you think of this particular sonnet or any of the sonnets or Shakespeare or any other author as well? Any meanings that you extract from it, whether you enjoyed Shakespeare when you were at school or you didn't, you rolled your eyes. And I can understand why, because sometimes it depends on the teacher or the professor. Sometimes they can make it dreary and horrible, just like any subject. But also, if you have an excellent teacher that can make it fun and interesting and connect to your life. This connects to everyone's life. We all get older. Well, unless you die young, you get older. Your beauty will fade, at least the youthful one. And should you have children? Should you not have children? There's lots of people debating that and arguing about that. Some people think nobody should have children. There's actually groups for that. I've forgotten the name of it. And others think you should still have loads of them, and then there's everybody in between somewhere. I think it's lovely to have them, but it's also, there's also other value in life too. But this poem was, or this sonnet rather, was looking more at that. All right, I said I was going to stop rambling, and then I start rambling again. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you very much to those of you who have. Um, Ask for a coupon if you want to take one of my Udemy courses. It actually benefits me and you. Udemy actually pays me more if you use one of my coupons than if you just go through them or use somebody else's coupon. So I do appreciate all of you who've done that as well. If you want to know more about my private tutoring, shoot me an email and I can send you information about that as well. Have a beautiful day. I'm looking now to see where's the stop recording button. Until next time, it's Ron from L.T.L Tutoring Central. Bye-bye for now.